Welcome back to Tech Direct. 2012, bigger things in the tech space. And today with me is Mark Aigwa. And Mark, getting into 2012, what do you think are the things to look out for, the trends?
There's a couple of things. I think we had a post, Mbwana Ali, I think he's like entrepreneur in residence or something at IO Ventures, Tanzanian African guy, and he had a post on AfriNovator this week that, well, not this week, a few weeks ago, that just went viral. It was his 12 predictions, and yeah, just to touch on that, there's a whole number of things we're expecting for this year.
Mm-hmm.
Among them, I think they're being called phablets.
Phablets,
PH.
Oh,
so
PH.
it's it's the mix of a smartphone, a tablet, the Galaxy Note being a very a pretty close example, which we'll be looking at pretty soon. And I think now this whole one laptop per child idea and a whole bunch of other things that are happening, a lot of questions around what is the default device, do we even need PCs, cyber cafes, big questions within all that, and where the convergence is. I think it's clear that in this year we're going to get a pretty definitive answer to whether the PC, to really know the PC's relevance in sort of the future of connectivity on the continent.
Interesting take on that. My thoughts, phablet, tablets, whatever. I think the key is to be able to discover how to introduce these things to the consumer. Because yes, if it's a trend for 2012, is that a trend for Africa? Is that a global trend? Because I think even if you do get a device, getting it into the hands of the consumer, and who's this consumer? Define the consumer. Is it a student? Is it the mama mboga? Who is that guy? I think the challenge will lie there, because I don't think it's an issue of getting devices out there. We've heard of the tablet coming from out of India, driven on powered by Android at less than $50. Exciting. Pre-orders of 1.4 million. But what's the use case on that? On other things,
the Nigerian tablet last year by those guys and Cypher. So sort of showing that, I guess even we're trying to put something on the map ourselves, but it's really a matter of time. But the challenge with all of, the prediction is that it's just that it's calculated, it's guesstimates and calculated.
Crystal ball, disclaimer right there, crystal ball. These are our predictions. So there's a crystal ball there, may or may not happen. On my side, I think mobile web will be big. Reason is CCK stats. More and more Kenyans are getting online, more and more Kenyans are searching for content.
Right. Highest, according to the last report, the highest reported growth in a quarter, I think it was like 12 or 13%, like 12 point something percent, and now it's at 60, I think it's 60, between 65 and 67% penetration, if I'm not wrong, of mobiles in the country in general. So that's internet included, default devices. So the more devices we get in general, you can assume the more people that will be getting onto the web, the lower the threshold for mobile-enabled devices becomes.
Yeah. So I'm saying anyone from the guys in Riverwood, if you're a musician, if you're a TV station, anyone who can produce content can now start to monetize it, because we now have an active audience.
Well, I wouldn't go as far as to say they'll monetize it as much as they'll try. Let's look at this past year. the iDEOS has blown up. You had open data. You had all these. You had the perfect storm brewing.
Yes.
But the tipping point is the guys who hold the cards, the operators, etc.
Pause right there. Prediction number 3. Mobile payments. Mobile payments will take a different spin. People will start through stuff like micropayments. People will now actually start to monetize content in a different way. Which is why now, for me, I'm very confident that, let me give an example. The guy who does his 15-minute Kikuyu movie can now reach out to a wider audience, and the way to bill for that is already available. So that's my other prediction, that mobile payments will take a different turn, stop being peer-to-peer, and now start seeing more implementations on m-commerce. And the key driver of that initially will not be people buying books and DVDs and videos, will be people purchasing content, but in a non-traditional means, meaning no more short code stuff.
Well, look at where we're sitting now. We're sitting in the M Lab. Shameless plug. Thanks for letting us use this space. And you know, you have virtually every single startup here involved in some level of mobile payment or commerce related product. You know, you've got Kopo, you've got MTL with M-Shop, shameless plug again, you know, shameless plug a lot, but yeah, you know, plug in the best way possible. You've got the guys, Space Kenya, aka Wive, you know, with CrowdPesa. And I think, just like you said, it's more this space competition intensifying. Because the challenge is that even with M-Pesa, like, the argument to why it's not been successful in a lot of other places is critical mass. So as long as it doesn't have critical mass, it's really not, you know, sustainable, or even the use case isn't as clear. But now, you know, one prediction is that we'll probably see it come to some level of maturity, the market. So not as much growth as far as numbers go, but like you said, people building on top of what's there. But like, you know, the fact that we cannot ignore is that, you know, the people who still hold all the aces are the operators, you know. So the second we get any movement there, or when you're trying to disrupt what they're doing, or building in the gaps they've left by them playing everything very close to their chest, then we get something. But if not, you know, something's got to give, but who knows? I mean, Q3, Q4, it could be that long.
You keep bringing up these points that I until you pause. Prediction, the next prediction is MNOs will open up. MNOs will open up. And the key thing here is, first, 2011 has been a year with very, very many issues, with operators being very hard-headed in terms of letting people into the ecosystems. But now with competition intensifying, I think they start opening up. And with that opening up, I hope to see revenue share on data, and I hope to see them reduce what they're asking for in terms of revenue share across the board. I mean, markets like Europe, you find that if you're doing an SMS-based product, the operator will take maybe 10%, and then 90% goes to the creator, because really, you know, they handle the cost of advertising, the cost of creation, the cost of the intellectual property. So I hope to see, in my crystal ball, I see Safaricom, I see Airtel opening up and saying, okay, developers, maybe not all 10,000, 50,000 of you, but here's a way that we can now plug into our systems and help us stop being a dump pipe. Because unfortunately, that is the other prediction, that if they don't style up, they'll become a dump pipe, and guys will build around them.
I would agree, but I also disagree in that if you look at the I don't use this term again, but the tipping points in mobile network operator history over the past, let's say, like 18 months, it was when Safaricom were without speaking on how detailed I know about it, they were concentrating elsewhere on shooting a commercial, and basically in their sleep, Airtel goes around and hits, and sort of really shakes up the market with a one shilling offer. So it's really it's taken some really big some pretty drastic or dramatic moves to change the entire market. And if we don't see that dramatic of a move, it's hard to see them. I mean, think about it. They wanted to sell. If they could sell SIM cards at 2,500 shillings another 6 months, they would have taken that chance.
Yes. So
it's up until someone comes to disrupt them, and whether it's you or whether it's Orange. We just need one of those guys to make things happen.
Okay. So enough for the predictions. In a few minutes, we'll show you the events to attend in 2012 so that you can actually see what's going to be happening on the ground.
Right.